Blog Talk Radio.
And it's the music of Lionel Jones from the CD Papa Jones. You can find him and other artists we feature right here on our show page link, or hit him up at www.cdbaby.com, or just tell him that you heard us on the Men Empowered radio show right here at Blog Talk Radio, and he is on Facebook.com. Well, Shalom Israel, and to you, good morning, good evening, good afternoon to you and yours, wherever you are on the World Wide Web. You are listening to Let's Talk, brought to you by the Men Empowered Organization right here on the Blog Talk Radio Network at blogtalkradio.com. My name is Brother MALACHI. I am your host and founder of the Men Empowered Organization. We are here live for 1 hour. While we are here live, you can hit us up at 347-205-9279. And for those of you all who are in the chat room, shalom to you. You can always reach us here at the Men Empowered Organization when we are not on the air at area code 504-484-9388 or 601-297-2927, and Men Empowered to Prosper at yahoo.com. Our social media, we are Men Empowered at twitter.com. And we are also Men Empowered LinkedIn. Yours truly, Maurice Heron, is at facebook.com for a short period of time. We will be canceling our Facebook subscription right after we finish the complete series of the Book of Jasher. Got some important announcements to make before we get in contact, before we start the Book of Jasher. So stay tuned on that note right after a music break, and we will be right back.
I write letters on the page, turn them into words, give them a melody and turn them into a verse. I lay them down like seed in the soil and dirt and the ground till they breathe and they push out of the earth. For what it's worth, I was there for the birth of my daughter. I poured her out of the womb and laid her on her mother. And though I can't say the same for my father, I still made it as a young survivor of the slave trade. But nowadays the slaves are wearing orange. Overpopulated prisons makes the economy strong. Brothers was telling me I should have known it all along. And there they making products for corporations. Out here we buy it unaware of the perpetuation. And gunplay is at an all-time arrow to the sky. Lord, I know the sparrow ain't the only thing with your eye. You said there will be signs and you can't lie. So as far as I'm concerned, these are the times. The threats of the bombs, the seasons of all. Fathers against sons, daughters against moms. It's out of order, they like, what have we done? Everything that was prophesied before the kingdom come. Now run. Yeah, let's go, we almost home. Lots going on out in the city right now. Lots going on out in the world. I ain't stressing none of it though. You know what I'm saying? We almost home. Open the morning with a prayer, my way of saying salute. My head's held way up, my heart's out to the troops. My body's in the ghetto, my soul is for the folks here. Where the concept of hope floats over some folks' head. They swear we ain't got a chance, but I glance so close at the thing, I see the original paint. And you ask why I pass on that general rate. You see my mind is on a level that the criminals ain't. And I'm opposed to that closed conscious nonsense. I hope my vote provokes the revoke of blind intent. Because the way we know freedom is coming to an end. When on security, society depends. The win goes to the majority. The RFID begins. Slaves in our own skin. Wade cause you know that they're watching. Options are limited, the thought of freedom becomes primitive. Possibilities are no longer limitless. They tap into our thoughts, tell us how to feel, but those of us from above, we've already been sealed. So the ending for them is the beginning for us, all because of the God we trust. We almost home. Let's go. Aside from the body, in the spirit, let's fly. I know y'all ready to go. It got that feel to it. You know what I'm saying? We almost home.
You don't understand, see. You don't get it.
People don't understand, man.
I'm a free man, and I don't mean just out of jail. I am.
They just don't
free at
understand. Corey Jackson, man. More mad than ever. How many more, man? My brother. We gotta get out of stop, man. We gotta get free.
I have
gotta put a stop. We gotta get free, man. Gotta get free. We can't keep doing this shit.
This tale is ill, the autobiographic is real, so I share it from deep in my memory film. 114035 inscribed on his khaki suit. I set a cross from my brother, trapped in a sterile room. Different families around, attempting to heal wounds. Conversation by the hour for dark souls to soothe. But this case is different, it's hella treacherous niggas. Cowards my brother trusted that became his false witness. Picture this, a small town, locale, a southern state, and that serves as the framework that outlines the case. A murder took place, victim of another race. She had status and spoke to governors face to face. More fuel for the flames of supremacy and hate that blacks will never escape without God's grace. On the court date, they brought him in shackled, he took the stand. Third black boy being charged for death by one hand. An argument in another state that wouldn't have a chance. But the Commonwealth of Kentucky is a southern land that still got problems with brothers from the motherland. They judge us not by character, but by skin. But in this case, it was one Negro here. They said similar to his in the car when she disappeared. Funny, how many blacks got similar hair? We unlucky. Evidence they use when they argue their trial, but never tested DNA and put it on file. It's all foul and wild. 50 years they gave him. Throughout trial, never showed his involvement with the slaying. Just hearsay from inmates and the main suspect.
You don't understand. You don't get it. I'm a free man, and I don't mean just out of jail. I am free at last.
Gotta get free, man. Be more substantial evidence, man.
Testimonies from local bums in a segregated city is the evidence they use to convince the jury committee. But really, that's only the second level of injustice. The first level was the lie detector test they shuffled. The main suspect failed too. But detectives lied to the judge to get a warrant through. For who? You guessed it, my brother's name in the loop. The table now set for Southern hospitality soup, and they be cooking black boys by ones and groups. Straight out their youth, they stamp them by stretching the truth. But don't get it twisted, I hate anything that's corrupt. But when the government is guilty, tell me who can you trust? Now 14 of the 50 years, my brother is done, and never had nothing to do with the death of the gun, but was violently prosecuted by a snake with a tongue. No wonder we burn with hatred like the rage of the sun.
Let me ensure that I am through walking on the wild. That's all I've been trying to tell you. I have been sick with the social ills.
And it's the music of Rare Jewels taken from the CD Rare Jewels mixtape. Also before that, you heard Esham Bird from the CD Cleaning Out My Closet mixtape. You're listening to Let's Talk right here on Blog Talk Radio. We are getting ready to get into the book of Jasher. But before we do get started right here in the book of Jasher, I've got some announcements, if you want to call it that. I've got some clarity that I need to clear up and let it be made clear that the Men in Power organization is independent of any organization, any church, or any Hebrew organization that is around. We are independent. We came in this on our own, and this particular radio broadcast was birthed out of fasting and prayer. The Most High instructed me to start this, and the word says, seek and you shall find. Well, when we fasted and prayed, we began to start seeking, and we found. And it was level after level of revelation. Now, when my partner and we came off of a 40-day fast, we began to see some things in the scriptures, and from looking at things in the scriptures, we found the truth. And from what was being promoted on radio as well as television, we found some errors from ministries that was promoting what was called, or what is called, the gospel of Jesus Christ. Well, we found some things that we always wanted to find out, and we asked the question to the Most High, why is it racism in the church? If these people are listening to the Most High God, and we're supposed to be one body, why is there a separation? Well, when we found this information out, this led us to find out that the people who are being persecuted through racism are actually the people or the children or descendants of the children of Israel. Yes, they are, in fact, the children of Israel. The scripture to this can be validated through the chapter of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verses 15 through 68. Certain scriptures within that particular framework identify who the children of Israel are here in the Americas. Well, we also found out that the 12 tribes of Israel, or the 12 brothers and their descendants, are as follows. The tribe of Asher are the Argentinians, the Brazilians. The tribe of Benjamin are the Jamaicans. The tribe of Gad is the Native American Indians. The tribe of Issachar is the Mexicans. The tribe of Judah, as I stated, are the Negroes here, or African Americans here in the United States, as well as Canada and parts of Brazil. Also, some of these tribes like Judah and Levi, and as well as who did I want to say? As well as just those two particular tribes can be found in West Africa. Also, the tribe of Levi descendants, majority of their descendants are in Haiti. The tribe of Manasseh are the black Cubans. The tribe of Ephraim is in Puerto Rico. Naphtali is the Hawaiian Pacific Islanders. The tribe of Reuben are the Australian, what is it called? The Australian Aborigines and the Seminole Indians in Florida. The tribe of Simeon is in the Dominican Republic. They are the Dominicans. And the tribe of Zebulon is the Panamanians in the nation of Panama. And this can also be found and validated, their prophecies where they will be descendants to, in this particular hemisphere, into slavery, can be found in Genesis chapter, Genesis chapter 49. Let me go back there again and let me make sure. I don't want to tell you a biff. Yeah, I'm right. Yeah, all that can be found in Genesis chapter 49 of where the descendants will be scattered to. Also, we found out who we are, and we also found out that there are certain prophecies that have not yet taken place, and we found the correct teaching on all these prophecies, because once you get what I call the genealogy, the people facts straight, then you know where the genealogy is going. You will know where the prophecies are going to. Now that we've got that correct, now we know how to wind up on that particular fact. Now, through all this seeking and research, I came across the Biblical Hebrews. The host there is Georgia Johnson. Well, I found her, and also we connected with other brothers here in my home city of Hattiesburg, Mississippi. You recall, and I still have these shows on our website to show our progression of how we have grown into the truth by doing more research and study. And from those other two guys, they came and joined us. You probably heard the rabbi that we've had here, also the prophet that we've had here, as well as my brother and partner here. He go by the Hebrew name of Gabriel. And you also know that my Hebrew name goes by MALACHI. So we began to fellowship and begin to do some research. A couple of them fell off, and I began to take this load on, and we began to just add more brothers to our organization. And mostly these brothers, we have the support as far as doing research, the fellowship. Just having the fellowship is more than enough for me, because to know the fact that we share this common knowledge that we have here. Now, we are scattered in not only in Mississippi, but also in Mobile, Alabama, as well as in parts of Louisiana, New Orleans, Louisiana area, as well as in other parts of Louisiana. And, throughout Mississippi, Laurel and Hattiesburg, Mississippi area, this truth is being spread and waking up. We have here at the Men in Power organization our own agenda and our own assignment. Now, to let you know, we're not a church, we're a ministry. We research and we put the word out, and we tell people where to go to find the information according to the Bible. Also, we found through the Biblical Hebrews, hosted by Georgia Johnson. She introduced us to the Gathering of Christ Church. Now, they are totally separate. Now, there's some understanding you need to know about the names of the Most High, that they have different. Also, there are some other biblical things such as doctrine. Some of it just maybe be a slight different, but we all have a common purpose of knowing who we are, that we are the descendants of Jacob. So that's when I found out that there are a lot of Hebrew organizations that are out there. Israel United in Christ. I studied with them. I also saw a few other organizations that are out there, and I said, ooh. And when I say that, you'll understand. I mean, we do not condone all this cussing and all this hatred and everything that's going on that some Israelite camps put out there. We know that the Gentiles have a purpose. But what we try to do is we try to study at our pace, not trying to just throw everything away and say that this person is right. What we're going to do is we're going to study the word ourselves, and we're going to go and we're going to learn from what we study. Now, we're going to get some knowledge and information from these camps, but we have a responsibility for our own growth. And so, therefore, we are not a part of the Gathering of Christ Church. Although the Gathering of Christ Church do make a great contribution to the knowledge that we have learned, we promote a lot of their material. If you've been listening to this broadcast, many broadcasts that we have, we promote a lot of things going on with the Gathering of Christ Church. Now, we try to steer you in that organization's path because of the knowledge that they have. Now, if you want to go ahead and join them as a church, no one is stopping you. By all means, if the Most High is leading you in that area, please, by all means, go ahead and do so. But please, we are not a part of the Gathering of Christ Church, nor the Biblical Hebrews of Israel, or nor the Israel Christ United in Christ. We are not a part. We have our own agenda. We are men empowered. And we are here to prosper in every area of our lives. we're on this journey just like you. If you're waking up to the very first time of knowing who you are as a descendant of Jacob. So whatever they got to do, please, by all means, go to their website. We've mentioned that many times. Get all the information from Gathering as One at AOL.com. We support them as well as others in prayer. We also support the Gathering of Christ Church through financial support as well. We believe in that, but we also have our own agendas that we have to do, that the Most High has given us assignments, and therefore we're responsible for the assignment that He has given us. So I just wanted to go ahead and clear that up to let people know that we are not an extension of the Gathering of Christ Church by any means. No, we're not elders. We have our own agenda. So if you need to get in contact with the church, they are here at Blog Talk Radio as well as on YouTube. There are many ways you can get in contact with them. They will get in contact with you. So if you feel led to go to the Gathering of Christ Church, by all means, do so. We're not stopping you. We're not bad-mouthing anybody. But we are going to, my thing is, I would love for Israel to be in unity, but that seems to be the issue going on right now with Israelites, is we don't have any unity because of doctrine. So I just wanted to bring that out real clear. There's some things that people are surfing around. I heard Elder Ricard talk about this on one of the broadcasts on search engine, and I can understand that he had to set some things up real clear on that. And I also wanted to be correct to let you all know that we're not trying to steer anybody from the Gathering of Christ Church. We are just a ministry here putting out the word of the Most High. We have been doing this even before we came into the truth. Even though we was on the wrong path, we were putting out that information before they even came along. We were sharing the word. So I just wanted to bring you all to that particular point to where we are. So let me take another quick music break, and we will be right back to begin the book of Jasher, chapter 44. We probably will be going into overtime. We have about 80 verses in chapter 44 to go through. And so we will probably be going into overtime as we speak on this. So let's take a quick music break. Let's go ahead and hear from Rare Jewels again. This right here talks about the gift that is in you and I, as well as clarity.
We proudly present.
Oh my goodness.
We
Wow.
proudly
Hey,
present.
yo, Dan, you got some heavy weight on your hands there, partner. So check it, man. I was thinking, what we go through as artists, man, and just, what we go through. Wanting to have that support, man, and home team or whatever, it's kind of like, man.
Look, labels ain't got a sign, and Christ already did that. The moment he hung on the cross, died and came back. My record deal been permanent black, ink and blood that flow thicker than water when folk don't show me no love. So I still produce, though industry tired of loot. I ain't still digging in crates for beat breaks. Stay spitting numerous gems and keepsakes. The Lord been good to me, gotta give him deep thanks.
Thank you.
16 lines that make you call a fireman. Why? Just to put out the flames that's on your mind. Keep my brain on the grind to polish these jewels. Pumping more heart than blood is transfused. Stay smooth in my lane cause my composure is based on nothing man does, just the Almighty's grace. Transatlantic connection, sons of God in the booth. Clarity dims on the beat, spitting gifts for living proof.
From the moment the beat drop, I leak ink hot, flow through gutters with deep thoughts till it cleans hearts. My people need art cause it inspires revelation. That's my gift, I do it without hesitation. The moment the beat drop, I leak ink hot, flow through gutters with deep thoughts till it cleans hearts. My people need art cause it inspires revelation. That's my gift, I do it without hesitation. It's blatant that men don't value the tongue they were given, but I'm cut from another cloth. Flaw's kinda different, in fact, I spit wisdom like a hustler block pitching. Broke without a pot to piston, so I pour in ears to listen. Was probably smoked out somewhere angry on that riffing, trying to figure out that short way out of bondage, while problems interrogate their brain life, hold them hostage. I'm CIA, clear, intelligent, and awesome. Propaganda at the flawless tactics, balling accurate inside to outside till I'm doing it backward. Head back to the hood, give them truth and classics. This is rap, skip what whack dudes on. From the moment the beat drop, I link ink hot, flow through gutters with deep thoughts till it cleans hearts. My people need art cause it inspires revelation. That's my gift, I do it without hesitation. The moment the beat drop, I leak ink hot, flow through gutters with deep thoughts till it cleans hearts. My people need art cause it inspires revelation. That's my gift, I do it without hesitation. Okay, Vince, check it out. You know, we got something to prove right here because, you know, a lot of folks believe you can only do certain things certain ways, so check it out, you know, look at it like. So let's talk about keys. Some traffic theirs through drugs, I traffic mine through 16. Packaging and audio, cause my hustler's dreams should be the #1 substance purchased by teens. From semi-pro sports to girls that dudes lusted, I had a bit of all of it, but still I can be trusted. Functioning flow fluid, so the flow's like sewage. Funky over top of Denzi's beats, I'm monkey. But not in the way that Charles Darwin would say. Take them back to Genesis, the curse of the arch nemesis. Flowing part in your censorship, bold and sponsor initiative. From the sheets, a sword is drawn upon the premises. The moment the beat drop, I leak ink hot, flow through gutters with deep thoughts till it cleans hearts. My people need art cause it inspires revelation. That's my gift, I do it without hesitation. The moment the beat drop, I leak ink hot, flow through gutters with deep thoughts till it cleans hearts. My people need art cause it inspires revelation. That's my gift, I do it without hesitation.
And it's the music of Clarity and Rare Jewels, taken from the CD Rare Jewels mixtape. You can find him at myspace.com. Rare Jewels Clarity at facebook.com, also on cdbaby.com. Well, good evening, good afternoon, good morning. It is another pleasing pleasure to read to you the book of Jasher. We are in chapter 44. You can kind of similarly follow along with us if you do not have a book of Jasher in chapter 37. So let's go here and read the first verse. Remember, we've got 80 verses. And the sons of Ishmael, who had brought Joseph from the Midianites, who had brought him from his brethren, went to Egypt with Joseph. And they came up on the borders of Egypt. And when they came near unto Egypt, they met 4 men of the sons of Midian, the son of Abraham, who had gone forth from the land of Egypt on their journey. 2. And the Ishmeelites said unto them, Do you desire to purchase this slave from us? And they said, Deliver him over to us. And they delivered Joseph over to them, and they beheld him that he was a very comely youth, and they purchased him for 20 shekels. 3. And the Ishmaelites continued their journey to Egypt, and the Midian also returned that day to Egypt. And the Midian said to each other, Behold, we have heard that Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, captain of the guard, seeketh a good servant who shall stand before him to attend him, and to make him overseer over his house and all belonging to him. Now, that right there, at the right time, Joseph was there to take over that particular position. So he was right on time on the plans that the Most High had set before him. 4. Now, therefore, come, let us sell him to him for what we may desire, if he be able to give unto us that which we shall require for him. 5. And these Midians went and came to the house of Potiphar, and said unto him, We have heard that thou seekest a good servant to attend thee. Behold, we have a servant that will please thee. If thou canst give unto us that which we may desire, and we will sell him unto thee. And Potiphar, verse 6, Potiphar said, Bring him before me, and I will see him. And if he please me, I will give unto you that which you may require for him. 7. And the medium went and brought Joseph and placed him before Potiphar. And he saw him, and he pleased him exceedingly. And Potiphar said unto them, Tell me what you require for this youth. 8. And they said, 400 pieces of silver we desire for him. And Potiphar said, I will give it you if you bring me the record of his sale to you, and will tell me his history, for perhaps he may be stolen. For this youth is neither a slave nor the son of a slave, but I observe in him the appearance of a goodly and handsome person. 9. And the medium went and brought unto him the Ishmeelites who had sold him to them. And they told him, saying, He is a slave, and we sold him to them. 10. And Potiphar heard the words of the Ishmeelites in his giving the silver unto the medium. And the medium took the silver and went on their journey. And the Ishmeelites also returned home. 11. And Potiphar took Joseph and brought him to his house, that he might serve him. And Joseph found favor in the sight of Potiphar. And he placed confidence in him and made him overseer over his house. And all that belonged to him he delivered over into his hand. 12. And the Most High was with Joseph, and he became a prosperous man. And the Most High blessed the house of Potiphar for the sake, you see this, for the sake of Joseph. Now I can say this, that the United States and Canada is blessed not because it's a great nation, but for the sake of the children of Israel that is in this particular land. Verse 13, and Potiphar left all that he had in the hand of Joseph. And Joseph was one that caused things to come in and go out, and everything was regulated by his wish in the house of Potiphar. 14, and Joseph was 18 years old, a young with beautiful eyes and of comely appearance, and like unto him was not in the whole land of Egypt. 15. At that time, whilst he was in his master's house, going in and out of the house, and attending his master's Zeliak, excuse me about the pronunciation, Zelicah, his master's wife, lifted up her eyes toward Joseph, and she looked at him, and behold, he was a youth comely and well favored. Now here this cougar looking at this young stud, having lustful thoughts about him. Now that's my opinion, and that's my step on that. Verse 16, and she converted his beauty in her heart, and her soul, there's that lust, was fixed upon Joseph, and she enticed him day after day. Now, man, imagine that. Day after day, this woman is trying to make a pass at Joseph. But Joseph, being strong and obeying the Most High, did not budge. And she converted his beauty in her heart, and her soul was fixed upon Joseph. And she enticed him day after day. And Zelicah persuaded Joseph daily, but Joseph did not lift up his eyes to behold his master's wife. You know why? You know, with the things she was probably wearing, he knew that he had to keep his eyes off of her so lust would not come into his heart and start and he start falling from the Most High's will. 17. And Zelikar said unto him, how goodly are thy appearance and form. Truly I have looked at all the slaves, and have not seen so beautiful a slave as thou art. And Joseph said unto her, surely he who created me in my mother's womb created all mankind. Oh, there he go, attacking her with the word, because she was sure enough hitting on him hard, very hard. 18. And she said unto him, how beautiful are thy eyes, with which thou hast dazzled all the inhabitants of Egypt, men and women. And he said unto her, how beautiful they are whilst we are alive, but shouldest thou behold them in the grave, surely thou wouldest move away from them. Verse 19. And she said unto him, how beautiful and pleasing are all thy words. Take now, I pray thee, the harp which is in the house, and play with thy hands, and let us hear thy words. Verse 20. And he said unto her, how beautiful and pleasing are my words when I speak the praise of the Most High and his glory. And she said unto him, how very beautiful is the hair of the head. Behold, the golden comb which is in the house. Take it, I pray thee, and curl the hair of thy head. Now, here she is coming with everything in the flesh, and he's coming with everything that he possibly can in the spirit to get her off the flesh. Oh my. Verse 21. And he said unto her, how long wilt thou speak those words? Cease to utter these words to me, and rise and attend to thy domestic affairs. Verse 22. And she said unto him, there is no one in my house, and there is nothing to attend to but to thy words and to thy wish. Yet notwithstanding all this, she could not bring Joseph unto her, neither did he place his eye upon her, but directed his eyes below to the ground. Oh, yes. Verse 23. And Zelikar desired Joseph in her heart, and he should lie with her. And at the time that Joseph was sitting in the house doing his work, Zelikar came and sat before him, and she enticed him daily with her discourse to lie with her, or ever to look at her. But Joseph would not hearken to her. Now you know she got some see-through stuff on. Verse 24. And she said unto him, if thou wilt not do according to my words, I will chastise thee with the punishment of death, and put an iron yoke upon thee. Verse 25. And Joseph said unto her, surely the Most High who created man loosed the fetters of prisoners, and it is he who will deliver me from thy prison and from thy judgment. 26. And when she could not prevail over him to persuade him, and her soul being still fixed upon him, her desire threw her into a grievous sickness. Verse 27. And all the women of Egypt came to visit her. I didn't know this because it's not in the book of Genesis. And all the women of Egypt came to visit her. All the women knows this woman. All the women of Egypt came to visit her, and they said unto her, why art thou in this declining state? Thou that lackest nothing, surely thy husband is a great and is still prince in the sight of the king. Shouldst thou lack anything of what thy heart desired? And Zechar answered them, saying, This day it shall be made known to you, whence this disorder spring in which you see me. And she commanded her maidservants to prepare food for all the women, and she made a banquet for them. And all the women ate in the house of Zechar. 29. And she gave them knives to peel the citrus to eat. Then she commanded that they should dress Joseph in costly garment, and that he should appear before them. And Joseph came before their eyes, and all the women looked on Joseph and could not take their eyes from off him. And they all cut their hair, and they all cut their hands with the knives that they had in their hands. And all the citrus that were in their hands were filled with blood. Verse 30. And they knew not what they had done, but they continued to look at the beauty of Joseph, and did not turn their eyelids from him. 31. And Zechar saw what they had done, and she said unto them, What is this work that you have done? Behold, I gave you citrus to eat, and you have all cut your hands. 32. And all the women saw their hands, and behold, they were full of blood, and their blood flowed down unto their garments. And they said unto her, This slave in your house has overcome us, and we could not turn our eyelids from him on account of his beauty. 33. And she said unto them, Surely this happened to you in the moment that you looked at him, and you could not contain yourselves from him. How then can I refrain when he is constantly in my house, and I see him day after day going in and out of my house? How then can I keep from dealing or even from perishing on account of this? 34. And they said unto her, The words are true, for who can see this beauty from in the house and refrain from him? And he is not thy slave and attendant in thy house. And why dost thou not tell him that which is in thy heart, and suffer thy soul to perish through this matter? And verse 35, and she said unto them, I am daily endeavoring to persuade him, and he will not consent to my wishes. And I promised him everything that is good, and yet I could meet with no return from him. I am therefore in a declining state, as you can see. Verse 36, and Zechar became very ill on account of her desire toward Joseph, and she was desperately lovesick on account of him. And all the people of the house of Zechar and her husband knew nothing of this matter, that Zechar was ill on account of her love to Joseph. 37. And all the people of her house asked her, saying, Why art thou ill and declining, and lackest nothing? And she said unto them, I know not this thing which is daily increasing upon me. 38. And all the women and her friends came daily to see her, and they spoke with her, and she said unto them, This can only be through the love of Joseph. And they said unto her, Entice him and seize him secretly. Perhaps he may hearken to thee, and put off this death from thee. 39. And Zechar became worse from her love to Joseph, and she continued to decline till she had sacred strength to stand. 40. And on a certain day, Joseph was doing his master's work in the house, and Zechar came secretly and fell suddenly upon him. And Joseph rose up against her. Whoa. And Joseph rose up against her, and he was more powerful than she. And he brought her down to the ground. He threw her off. Wow, that's something. I gotta take a music break on that note. We're going into overtime. We'll be back, and we're going to go from 41 to 80. And it's the music of Creator, So Much So Men. That's K-R-E, the number 8, T-O-R, from Friday Night Gospel Jams right here. And we're also here live at late night, the book of Jasher, chapter 44. We're in the book of Jasher right here, chapter 44, and we're on verse 41. We just read the temptation that Joseph has been enduring from the women that has been visiting the house. They're dressing him up. They're taking his clothes off. They're staring at him. They're cutting themselves. They're batting them eyelashes. How much more can he take? Oh, my. A timely song by Creator right there. Verse 41, and Zelkar wept on account of the desire of her heart toward him, and she supplicated him with weeping, and her tears flowed down her cheeks, and she spoke unto him in a voice of supplication and in bitterness of soul, saying, 42, hast thou ever heard, seen, or known of so beautiful a woman as I am, or better than myself, who speak daily unto thee, fall into a decline through love for thee, confer all this honor upon thee, and still thou wilt not hearken to my voice? Woo! Wow. She begging. She begging now. 43. And if it be through fear of thy master, lest he punish thee, as the king liveth, no harm shall come to thee from thy master through this thing. Now therefore pray, listen to me, and consent for the sake of the honor which I have conferred upon thee, and put off this death from me. And why should I die for thy sake? And she ceased to speak. Verse 44. And Joseph answered her, saying, refrain from me, and leave this matter to my master. Behold, my master knoweth not what there is with me to the house. For all that belongeth to him he has delivered into my hands. And how shall I do these things in my master's house? 45. For he had also greatly honored me in his house, and he had also made me overseer over his house, and he had exalted me, and there is no one greater in this house than I. Than I am. And my master had refrained nothing from me, except thee who are his wife. How then canst thou speak these words unto me? And how can I do this great evil and sin to the Most High and to thy husband? 46. Now therefore refrain from me, and speak no more such words as these, for I will not hearken to thy words. But Zechar would not hearken to Joseph when he spoke these words unto her, but she daily enticed him to listen to her. 47. And it was after this that the brook of Egypt was filled above all its sides, and all the inhabitants of Egypt went forth, and also the king and princes went forth with tambourines and dances, for it was a great rejoicing in Egypt, and a holiday at that time of the inundation of the sea Sihor. And they went there to rejoice all the day. 48. And when the Egyptians went out to the river to rejoice, as was their custom, all the people of the house of Potiphar went with him. But Zechar would not go with them, for she said, I am indisposed. And she remained alone in the house, and no other person was with her in the house. Here's where Joseph should have left that house himself. 49. And she rose up and ascended to her temple in the house, and dressed herself in princely garments, and she placed upon her head precious stones of Otson, stones inlaid with silver and gold, and she beautified her face and skin with all sorts of women's perfume liquid, and she perfumed the temple and the house with cassia and frankincense, and she smeared myrrh and aloes, and she afterwards sat in the entrance of the temple in the passage of the house through which Joseph passed to do his work. And behold, Joseph came from the field and entered the house to do his master's work. 50. And he came to the place through which he had to pass, and he saw all the work of Zechar, and he turned back. He knew it was a setup. He knew it was a setup. He turned back. And Zechar saw Joseph turning back from her. And she came out to him, saying, What alienate thee, Joseph? Come to thy work, and behold, I will make room for thee until thou shalt have passed to thy seat. 52. And Joseph returned and came to the house and passed from this to the place of his seat. And he sat down to do his master's work as usual. And behold, Zechar came to him and stood before him in princely garment, and the scent from her clothes was spread to a distance. That perfume was loud. Verse 53. And she hastened and caught hold of Joseph and his garment. And she said unto him, As the king liveth, if thou wilt not perform my request, thou shalt die this day. And she hastened and stretched forth her other hand and drew a sword from beneath her garment, and she placed it upon Joseph's neck. And she said, Rise and perform my request, and if not, and if not, thou diest this day. She was finna rape homeboy. Verse 54. And Joseph was afraid of her at her doing this thing, and he rose up to flee from her, and she seized the front of his garment, and in the terror of the flight, the garment which Zechar seized was torn. And Joseph left the garment in the hand of Zechar, and he fled and got out, for he was in fear. 55. And when Zechar saw that Joseph's garment was torn, and that he had left it in her hand and had fled, she was afraid of her life, lest the report should spread concerning her. And she rose up and acted with cunning, and put off the garments in which she was dressed, and she put on her other garments. Verse 56. And she took Joseph's garment, and she laid it beside her, and she went and seated herself in the place where she had sat in her illness, before the people of her house had gone out to the river. And she called a young lad who was then in the house, and she ordered him to call the people of the house to her. 57. And when she saw, then she said unto them with a loud voice and lamentation, See what a Hebrew your master has brought to me in the house, for he came this day to lie with me. 58. For when you had gone out, he came to the house, and seeing that there was no persons in the house, he came unto me and caught hold of me, and intended to lie with me. 59. And I seized his garment and tore them and called out against him with a loud voice. And when I lifted up my voice, he was afraid of his life and left his garment before me and fled. 60. And the people of the house of her house spoke nothing, but their wrath was very much kindled against Joseph. And they went to his master and told him the words of his wife. 61. And Potiphar came home in rage, and his wife cried out to him, saying, What is this thing that thou hast done unto me in bringing unto me in bringing Hebrew servant into my house. For he came unto me this day to sport with me. Thus did he do unto me this day. 62. And Potiphar heard the words of his wife, and he ordered Joseph to be punished with severe stripes, and they did so to him. 63. And whilst they were smithing him, Joseph called out with a loud voice, and he lifted up his eyes to heaven, and he said, O Most High, thou knowest that I am innocent of all these things, and why shall I die this day through falsehood by the hand of these uncircumcised wicked men who thou knowest? 64. And whilst Potiphar men were beating Joseph, he continued to cry out and weep, and there was a child there, and there was a child there, 11 months old, and the Most High opened the mouth of the child, and he spoke these words before Potiphar's men who were smiting Joseph, saying, 65. What do you want of this man, and why do you do this evil unto him? My mother speaketh falsely and uttering lies. Thus was the transaction. Now come on, people. Who said the Most High is not on time? He is right on time. Now you know good and well that shocked Potiphar and everybody else around there. 66. And the child told them accurately all that happened, and all the words of Zechar to Joseph day after day did he declare unto them. Now these are Egyptians, I remind you, that do not know the Most High, but the Most High used that child to get the truth out so they can stop beating Joseph. 67. And all the men heard the voice of the child, and they wondered greatly at the child's words. And the child ceased to speak and became still. 68. And Potiphar was very much ashamed at the words of his son, and he commanded his men not to beat Joseph anymore. And the men ceased beating Joseph. 69. And Potiphar took Joseph and ordered him to be brought to justice before the priests, who were judges belonging to the king, in order to judge him concerning this affair. 70. And Potiphar and Joseph came before the priests, who were the king's judge. And he said unto them, Decide, I pray you, what judgment is due to a servant, for this has he done. 71. And the priest said unto Joseph, Why didst thou do this thing to thy master? And Joseph answered them, saying, Not so, my lord. Thus was the matter. And Potiphar said unto Joseph, Surely I entrusted in thy hands all that belongeth to me, and I withheld nothing from thee but my wife. And how could thou do this evil? 72. And Joseph answered, saying, Not so, my lord. As the Lord liveth, and as thy soul liveth, my lord, the word which thou didst hear from thy wife is untrue. For thus was the affair this day. 73. A year has elapsed to me since I have been in thy house. Hast thou seen any iniquity in me, or anything which might cause thee to demand my life? 74. And the priest said unto Potiphar, Send, we pray thee, and let them bring before us Joseph's torn garment, and let us see the tear in it. And if it shall be that the tear is in front of the garment, then his face must have been opposite to her, and she must have caught hold of him to come to her. And with deceit did thy wife do all that she has spoken. 75. And they brought Joseph's garment before the priests who were judges, and they saw, and behold, the tear was in front of Joseph. And all the judges the judging priests knew that she had pressed him, and they said, "The judgment of death is not due to this slave, for he has done nothing, but his judgment is that he be placed in the prison house on account of the report which through him has gone forth against thy wife." 76. And Potiphar heard the words, and he placed him in prison in the prison house, and the place where the king's prisoners are confined. And Joseph was in the house of confidence 12 years. 12 years he was in this prison. And now, 77, and notwithstanding this, his master's wife did not turn from him, and she did not cease from speaking to him day after day to hearken to her. And at the end of 3 months, Zelkar continued going to Joseph to the house of confidence day by day, and she enticed him to hearken to her. And Zelkar said unto Joseph, "How long wilt thou remain in this house? But hearken now to my voice, and I will bring thee out of this house." Verse 78. And Joseph answered, saying, "It is better for me to remain in this house than to hearken to thy words, to sin against the Most High." And she said unto him, "If thou wilt not perform my wish, I will pluck out thy eyes, add fetters to thy feet, and will deliver thee unto the hands of them who thou did not know before." 79. And Joseph answered her and said, "Behold, the Most High of the whole earth is able to deliver me from all that thou canst do unto me. For he openeth the eyes of the blind, and loosened those that are bound, and preserveth all strangers who are unadequate with the land." Verse 80. And when Zakar was unable to persuade Joseph to hearken to her, she left off going to entice him. And Joseph was still confined in the house of confinement. And Jacob, the father of Joseph, and all the brethren who were in the land of Canaan still mourned and wept in those days on account of Joseph. For Jacob refused to be confronted for his son Joseph. And Jacob cried aloud and wept with mourning all those days. This concludes chapter 44. Tomorrow night we will start getting into chapter 45. Now we know what was in between compared to Genesis. So until next time, it is late. We're just running a few minutes over into our overtime. I want to thank you all for coming to listen to us in the archives. If you have any questions or comments, you can always send us an email at menempoweredtoprosper@yahoo.com. So until next time, this is Brother Malachi leaving you with Joel McCrae from the title cut song for you. Here is that cut. Shalom, everybody.